I just wanted to do a quick little freezer meal inventory, how to organize 30 meals kind of tutorial real quick. I'll try my best. What I wanted to show you was some of the rough things that I do to kind of prepare for 30 meals. So the first thing I like to do is I have some templates that I trace for my bullet journals. And so I make up a meal, a 30-day, the whole month, and I just trace that, and it fits on my 2 pages of my bullet journal. This is like an 8x7 journal or something like that. You can get different sizes. And then what I do is I get prepared. So I have the month all ready to go. And then what I do is I go to my freezer. And I go ahead and I look through my freezer. Now I'm going to show you my freezer. It's not pretty. It needs to be defrosted. It's a hot mess, but I've been working really hard to go through and eat what we have and to just really work this summer to do that. So I can eventually thaw this out. That is a plan on my list. Okay, but it's not happening right now. So what I do is I look in my pantry. It's like my frozen pantry. I look in my freezer and I see what kind of things I have. The last recent thing I made was chalupa. So I see I have 5 chalupa. So I made 1 mess, 5 meals, and this is gonna last me 4 months because I probably have one every 3 weeks. So anyway, I take an inventory. I write down on my little scratch list how many chalupa, how many chimichangas, how many strawberry jams, how many chicken pie fillings, how many raw chicken thighs, how many cooked ground turkey, different things like that. Every time I cook ground turkey or ground beef, I cook 10 to 12 pounds and then I just drain it and put them in 2-cup portions so that I can throw this in a spaghetti sauce. I can use this in a casserole. I can use it in a soup, whatever I need. I've got it already cooked. There's no mess involved in preparing that meal. I did make a video. Chicken lime fajitas is one of our favorites. I made this in May. And it's fine for months and months and months. But you just throw this into your crock pot. You cook it on low all day, 6 to 8 hours. You come home, you take out the limes. There's 4 lime quarters in here. You take the limes out, you shred the chicken, you serve it on a tortilla with sour cream. It's really tasty. So I have my tortillas in here frozen. So I would just prepare, I know what I have in here. So anyway, I write down everything that I have. I write down all of the main dishes that I have, all of the side dishes, all of the breads. I think I did another video about how to freeze English muffins and then how to thaw them so they don't get soggy. I do have some raw meats that I freeze into sections. I have raw chicken that I cut into bite sizes before I freeze it so that I only use 1 cutting board and I prepare it for what I'm gonna need it for. So that's what I do. Then I write down a really sloppy copy for myself of what I have so I know what's in the freezer. Okay, so if I have 1 pound of raw chicken chunks, I have 2 pounds of boneless chicken breasts, I have 3 1-pound cooked ground turkeys. So I try to like organize it, okay? Just for myself as a rough copy. Okay, the other thing that I've had my kids help me do is, this is really outdated, but I have done this and it's still sitting there from months ago. So yeah, it's still there. But I draw like a visual of 4 shelves because there's 4 shelves in there. And then I can kind of have my kids help me put the things on the right shelves so I can visually see and they can visually see where to find the sloppy Joe mix, where to find the ground beef, where to find the raw meats. So I was trying to put the raw meats on the bottom because then if there's a defrost issue or a problem, all the raw meat would just be on the bottom. It wouldn't be thawing and dripping down through everything. That's just a tip I've learned in the past. So anyway, this is really outdated, but this has been stuck on here for 6 months or so. So we'll probably go through that before school starts and make sure it's kind of up to date. The next step I do is I open up my bullet journal to the month that I'm planning. So I haven't done any planning for July. July starts really soon. And I'll go ahead and look at what I have. I'll look at the meals that I already know that I have, and I'll try to space out so I don't have all Mexican food every single day. I do have a lot of taco kits, chimichanga, chalupa. I have a lot of Mexican meals that I freeze ahead. So I do have a lot of those chicken lime fajitas. A lot of that sounds like we live in New Mexico, so I just really like New Mexican food, but we'll space it out so we don't have New Mexican food all the time. But it's really tasty. Anyway, then I go ahead and as I'm putting my meals in, I check my pantry if I have all of the pieces that still need to go with that main dish. So like, let's say it was chicken lime fajitas. I would have to make sure I have those tortillas, which I do. I need to make sure I have sour cream because it's really good with a dollop of sour cream. So then I would make a grocery list as I'm planning the whole month. I'd make a grocery list of what I really need to make that dish completely complete. And then I always try to have salad, always getting more lettuce. So I have stuff for salad and like toppings. We do a lot of tacos and chalupa and where we need lettuce and tomatoes a lot. So that's kind of always on my grocery list that I order. But I really try to only order like every 3 weeks. That's my goal. And we make the food that we get try to last. So I really try to plan it out so that I'm not doing a ton of grocery shopping. I'm not going every week. I'm not going every day after work. I'm not rushing to the store to grab one item that I didn't have. I really try to plan it out. It usually doesn't take me that long because I kind of know what's in my freezer and I have a basic outline of what's in my freezer. And then I don't actually lock myself into this schedule. I just like to know that I have 30 meals, 30 dinners worth. So this is basically just dinner that I'm planning. Breakfast, we usually have another system that we do with that, but this is basically for dinners. So what I do then is when it's actually the time to have the meal, I look at what we have. I have this one filled out for April and I say, oh, and then I don't even have to go in order. I can just pick one. I know we have everything for it. I star it when we actually eat it, pasta salad. I star it so I know we already had that. Can't expect that I would have that already, everything to go. So some of the things at the end of the month I don't even use, I can drag it to the next month and put it on my May calendar or my June calendar. So that just helps me to feel like I know I have 30 days worth of dinners. I know I don't need to stress out. I can look and see what we already have. And then I plan more like the night before. I just make sure I know what we're doing the next day for all the meals. And I look at this as a jump start, like, oh, I can thaw the taco meat and we can have, or I can do spaghetti and meatballs tomorrow because we still have spaghetti. We didn't use up the spaghetti from my plan in April. We still have spaghetti, meatballs, and sauce. Everything's checked. And so that just helps me. Anyway, I just thought it would be good to show you a couple tips. I don't think I showed you this one either. When I make a meal, I always make a double batch or triple batch of something to save myself a mess and time and cleanup. So the last week I made chicken pot pie and I just doubled the filling. So in this 8x8, I put the second part of the filling. And what I did was I lined it with plastic wrap and then I placed in my chicken pot pie filling and then I froze it. But now what I can do is run water over the back of this dish, pop it out and stick that in a gallon zip bag and I'll have it in the right shape for the next time when I want to make a crust or buy a crust. I'll have the filling all ready to go and I can just pop it in my 8x8. I don't have to leave my 8x8 pan in the freezer. I can just take it out of that little dish after it's in the size and the shape and frozen the way I want. Okay, I'm sure there's probably things that I've already said, but you can check out all my other freezer kit meals and different freezing tips. I hope you have a great summer.